guys, I am so excited to be filming today's video. You have no idea. I've had this idea for a very long time, since before I even started my channel, so I'm super excited to be filming this for you guys today. So there's going to be a part 2, so stay tuned to the end to hear a little bit more about that. Alright, so if you don't know where Puerto Rico is, it is an island down below the United States, and it is pretty close to Cuba, so really close to Florida. It's not that far away, and it is a territory of the United States. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so the whole story started when I was in Spanish class in my sophomore year of high school. Spanish was my absolute favorite class to go to. Senora Muller was my favorite teacher. She still is to this day. Shout out to Senora. You know, we called her Gina, but whatever. We were getting information about a little trip over the summer. It was a 2-week trip, and it was either going to be to Mexico or Puerto Rico. Obviously, we ended up going to Puerto Rico, but I was super excited because I was like, well, this is like a perfect opportunity to get my booty out of this country and explore a Hispanic country, because I've always wanted to talk to native speakers and kind of test out my Spanish, because, you know, it's easy to just talk in Spanish to your teacher exactly what they want you to say. It's completely different to be talking to native speakers every day, ordering food from them, and buying, you know, t-shirts at stores, and having conversations like saying thank you after someone held the door for you and things like that. It's completely different, and I really wanted that experience. So I begged and begged and begged my parents. Begged them. It was an expensive trip. I think it was about $4,000 after everything. That number might be wrong, but I think it was around that much money. 2 weeks in Puerto Rico, flights, food, extra spending money, clothes to get there, and I asked for everything for my birthday. For Christmas, I wanted suitcases for my birthday. I wanted all kinds of clothes and stuff, so I didn't have to buy anything else or ask for my parents for any extra things. I mean, they bought me most of the stuff for Christmas, but, you know, it kind of made sense in my head, because then I wasn't asking them to buy extra things on top of the trip. None of my friends were going on the trip. None of my friends even were in Spanish anymore. And so I was kind of scared at first, because I was like, are we the only school going? Am I going to like anyone? So it ended up being 8 girls from my school plus me and my Spanish teacher. Then we met up with 2 other schools from around here, and we got to know them. It ended up being about 30 students and 4 teachers. And they were all female teachers, and there were only 2 boys on the entire trip. It was so much fun to meet them. We met them at their high school, and we had like lunch, and we tried Puerto Rican food for the first time. Well, I didn't, because I can't eat anything, but we'll get into that later. We got to know each other, and we started bonding, and we were all getting so excited for everything. We started talking in Spanish to each other, even though we were all in like Spanish 3 or 4. Like, we weren't that good at Spanish yet. Like, I'm still not even good at Spanish now, and I'm in college. Like, we weren't that good at Spanish. We had to do activities, we had to do get to know you things, and it was a lot of fun. It was kind of scary, and I didn't really know anyone. Like, I knew people from my school just because, like, we're acquaintances, and like, I don't know, it was kind of weird. Like, I didn't know anyone, but that wasn't the reason why I was going. I was going for the experience. Puerto Rico is beautiful. After we did a lot of research, I just fell in love with the pictures of the different towns. It ended up being 2 weeks. The first week we traveled almost the entire island. And then the second week we stayed with the host family, which was so fun. I'll get into that again later, but super fun. We left at 3 a.m. We all put on these shirts, our Puerto Rico trip shirts, and they have like all of our names on the backs. You just see all these green shirts like walking around everywhere. We were the first people to get to the airport. I had to like move stuff out of one suitcase and into another, and it was just a mess. But we figured it out, and we got on this tiny little plane. It was so scary because it was like 1 row and then 2 rows. Like, and I was on this side. Oh, it was so scary. I hadn't been on a plane in years. We flew to Chicago, and then from Chicago we went straight to Puerto Rico. So we got there around like 1 p.m. their time, which they're just an hour ahead of us. And it was hot, muggy, humid. I'm pretty sure it was raining, and everyone was everywhere. But there was a lot of us, and there were a lot of adults, lots of moving parts, and then we had to go get luggage. So we went downstairs, we found all our luggage, and we got onto the bus. And so the bus was like our roaming home for the whole week, the whole first week. We would get on the bus, we got all our stuff in there, and then we went to the first hotel, which was in San Juan. And then we started traveling. So I'll insert some pictures right here. We went to a fort first, and that was really cool. That was during the first day. I had like plain hair, my hair was all up in a bun, and we were all wearing random outfits, and it was just kind of funny. We didn't really know what to wear, we didn't know what shoes to wear, we didn't really have that much instruction either. So we went to the fort, and when we went to the fort, they spoke in only Spanish. And we were all like, oh my God, I have no idea what they're saying. I've never heard this accent before. Because if you don't know, Spanish accents are just like English accents. So there's like the different forms of Spanish and accents to Spanish in different countries. So Spain has the famous gracias accent. And then in Puerto Rico, they cut off like the end of all their words. So they say gracia, and they say entonces, and like things like that. So they don't really pronounce all their words fully. And so that was something to get used to. And they said este about everything. Este, puedo, whatever, you know? So it was an adjustment because I never heard this form of Spanish before. I've only heard my Spanish teacher and people in my classroom that have learned from my Spanish teacher. So it was a huge adjustment, and it was kind of scary at first. I really thought like I knew no Spanish. I was so scared, but it turned out to be okay. I started to get in the hang of things. We had a tour guide that went from place to place with us. His name was Carlos, and he was only with us the first day. And then the next day, surprise, Carlos is sick, and we had Hector. And let me just say that everyone fell in love with Hector. We all loved him. We sniped pictures of him, and everybody was like, oh, Hector, mi amor, and like things like that. It was so funny, so funny. The places that we went on the first week were the Fort San Cristobal, the Arecibo, which is like this really cool way to measure waves, air waves, something really cool. I took a picture with it. I really don't know what it does. If you want to look it up, go ahead and look it up. But I don't really know what it does. It was just cool, and we learned about it, but not gonna lie, everybody was really tired and we all fell asleep during the presentation, but that's beside the point. Then we went to Havas de Camuy, which is right by there, and they're really cool caves, and we drank water from this fresh spring, which is awesome. And then we went to Luquillo, and we did the kayaking and the catamaran. Then we went to Ponce, and we went to an art museum and to a beach, which was really cool as well. And somewhere in there we hit El Yunque, which is the rainforest, and we did a hike, and a lot of people swam in the waterfall, but I didn't wear my swimsuit, so I didn't. But it was so much fun. I loved traveling and seeing the whole island, and I wanted to show my whole family after I had been to all those places. I wanted to take them there, and we did hit a couple spots in our next trip, but more on that in the next video. If you're new to my channel, I am gluten-free, and I have been since I was 9 years old. And if you guys want a story time about that, I will definitely give you one. But being gluten-free, I wasn't vegan at the time. Being gluten-free was hard. I did not know what to expect. I did not know what I was gonna be able to eat. I didn't know anything because I'd never been there before, and my teacher didn't know, and I didn't know what my host family was gonna feed me. I didn't know anything. I didn't know if they knew what gluten was. I didn't know if the restaurants knew what gluten was, so I was scared. So I had like a big suitcase and a little suitcase, and I filled the little suitcase with food. I filled the whole thing with food, like a mac and cheese like mix that you can like heat up the noodles in water and mix it in the microwave. I got these little picnic things that are like sunflower butter and crackers, and then it had like a fruit leather and a cookie, and so that was like a Lunchable that I took with me a lot. I brought trail mix, I brought pretzels, I brought cookies, muffins, bread. I brought everything in this tiny little suitcase. The whole thing was filled with food. And I was like, this is perfect. I will bring this, and then I'll eat all the food. And then once the food is gone, I can put all my souvenirs in there. Bang. Mind blown. I had unlocked the key to traveling when gluten-free. I did not realize that we were going to be moving hotels during the trip. So we moved from San Juan, which is on the top of the top of the island, the north side of the island, over to Fajardo, which is to the east. And then we moved down south to Ponce, and then we went back up to San Juan to get picked up by our family. So I had not eaten all the food by the time I had picked up things. So then I had all this crap. I didn't know what to do with all of it. So I ended up lugging it all in my backpack on day trips, and sometimes I would shove it into my little suitcase or my big suitcase, and it just turned into me organizing every time we were moving hotels for like hours. But, you know, I wasn't hungry. I wasn't hungry, and that's more important. And they know a lot about gluten-free because they really only have rice and meat and vegetables and fruit for their diet. Like, that was the trend at all the restaurants. That's what I would get at all the restaurants. I just wouldn't get the fried food. Like, it's not that hard to know what has gluten in it and what doesn't. That was a learning curve for me, and the next time I went to Puerto Rico, stay tuned till the end, I learned from that mistake. So it's all good. You're probably wondering if I made any friends, and the correct answer is absolutely heck yeah I did, because I'm a bubbly ass person. So there were a couple girls in the same grade as me from my school, and I was like, okay, I should probably make friends with them because I'm gonna see them afterwards the most. So I made friends with this girl, Julia, and we talked the whole first day. We sat next to each other on the bus, and we walked through Old San Juan together, and we bonded over boys at school. And she has an almond allergy, and I have a gluten allergy, so we kind of talked about that. And then I told her about my little brother, and she told me about how she nannies. And flash forward 2 years, we're still best friends. What? Are you kidding? We had gone to the same school since kindergarten. Since kindergarten. Well, I kind of left for a couple years and I came back, but we had gone to the same school since kindergarten, and we knew of each other, but we'd never been friends before. And I was like, where have you been all my life? I need you in my life all the time. And now we're best friends, and I'm friends with all of her friends, and it's like meant to be. That is like one of the biggest things in my whole life that was meant to be. And Julia, I love you so much, and I can't wait till you come home from Colorado because I miss you so much. I also made friends with Hannah and Maddie. They are both a year younger than us, and they're still in high school, but they're about to graduate, and I love them so much, and I miss them. Even though I'm home and they're here, like, we're both busy, we have different schedules, we can't see each other, and I miss them dearly. And then in addition to that, I made friends with a lot of people from the other high schools we went with, like Leia, Sarah Winkler, who's here on YouTube. You should check out her channel. It's gonna be linked down below. She's hilarious. Also Elena from my school, and tons of other people, Jake, Ben. We became a Puerto Rican family, and it was so much fun. The first week we got to hang out with each other and we became really close, and then the second week we were torn apart and we had to be with different people, and it sucked. But we got to see each other like once a day still anyways, because when our families would go to work, they would take us up to the college that was in like San Juan area, and we would hang out with all the other kids and like go on day trips, and then we would go back with our families and sleep there. So it was kind of cool. And I made a friend in Puerto Rico. Her name is Franchelise, and I'm still friends with her on Instagram and Facebook, so that's super cool. If she sees this, I don't even know if she watches my videos, but hi Franchelise, if you do, if you are watching this, I miss you, and it was so nice to meet you. She was trying to learn English and I was trying to learn Spanish, so we were kind of like going back and forth between the language, but it was super cool. Okay, I'm sorry that the lighting is different and the angle's a little different, but I realized that I didn't include some of the stuff that I really wanted to include, so I'm adding some more. So I didn't talk about my host family. So my host family, I was just staying with 2 parents, and all their kids were grown up, and so I did meet one of their daughters for a little while. She hung out with us. I don't remember her name, but it was a lot of fun. The parents were amazing. They did talk mostly in English because it's an American territory, so they talk in Spanish and English, so it was just easier sometimes to just talk in English, but we tried to get them to talk in Spanish as much as possible because we were there to learn Spanish, obviously. And the reason why I'm saying we is because I was staying at the house with another student. So it was me, this girl Maggie, and then the 2 parents, and then every once in a while the daughter would come, and then they had a little dog named Luna. They fed me really well. They had all gluten-free stuff. So I really appreciated that. They made gluten-free pancakes and gluten-free brownies. Not everyone had a perfect like homestay with family, but I was fortunate enough to have a really good experience. My family was awesome, really nice, and we actually got to hang out a lot with this other girl, Jessie, and her host mom, and we went to like this gorgeous pool, and we went to their condo, and we got to lay out in the sun and go to the beach and the pool a lot, and that was super duper fun. We went over the weekend. They were gonna take us to the El Yunque, the rainforest, but we had already been with the school, so they didn't take us. And in case you're wondering, I really didn't get sick except for the very first day. For some reason, when I landed there that night, I was so sick. I felt horrible. I was up all night sick. But after that, I really didn't deal with being sick at all. It must have been just from flying or something, or maybe I ate something on the plane I wasn't supposed to eat. I really don't remember, and I don't know. I didn't know at the time either. So yeah, and if you are traveling and you're gluten-free, bring your own food if you're unsure if people are going to have food for you, or go to a grocery store. They have Publix and Walgreens and grocery stores pretty much anywhere you're going to go. So just go to a grocery store and pick up some convenience type food, or get a place that you can stay in with a kitchen, because that's what we did when we went back, and it worked out really well because you can just cook in a safe environment for yourself. Also, there is this enzyme called Gluten that I took every time before I ate, and it just cuts down on the cross-contamination effects. So I get sick if I get cross-contamination. It doesn't even have to be like me physically eating gluten. Just like cross-contamination in the kitchen can make me sick. So if I'm out or I go to a foreign country, I will take, it's like a pill, it's like a horse pill. I'll take that before I eat, like 5 minutes before even, just so it hits your stomach before the food, and then I don't get as sick. I still might feel the effects. It's not like a cure, but it'll help. Oh, one other thing, quick little story. So we went on a catamaran when we were in Puerto Rico, and it was out of Fajardo, and it was in like Luquillo, just like right on the coast, on the west side, east side, west side, don't really know. It's the, okay. So if you don't know what a catamaran is, it's kind of like an open sailboat, and it has like places you can like lay out on, and you just go to like different islands and stuff. So we went on this trip and we were gonna snorkel. So we dock at this one island, and we were able to like get out and play in the sand and the water and play volleyball and things like that. And then we got back on the boat and we ate lunch, and then we went to a different part which was like better for snorkeling. So we all get out into the water. I had like my little like camera that you like take pictures, and then you go and then you take a picture underwater, and everyone else had their GoPros. I didn't have a GoPro at the time. We were all like swimming and having fun and snorkeling, and we were all getting kind of tired, and so we were just gonna go back on the boat and chill out until everyone was done. But then the boat starts floating away, and we were like, am I making this up, or is that boat going somewhere? And so we all started freaking out a little bit, because we're like, where is the boat going? Is the boat just leaving us? Like, our teachers were on the boat, our phones weren't even on the boat, they were in the bus back on the mainland, and like we were freaking out. We were like, what is going on? So it turns out that the anchor had broken, like the string with the anchor had broken, and the anchor was in the ground, and the boat wasn't attached to it. So the boat starts floating without them realizing it at first. And then they were like, why are they getting farther away? And we're getting closer to land. Like, this is kind of funky. So they had to go further towards the land to get like a shorter anchor in the water to get them to stop, so that they could get people back in the boat. Mind you, we're just in the ocean. We're just out there in the ocean, and I'm wearing a life jacket, not even a life jacket. I was wearing flippers, and I had like a little buoy around my waist that wasn't even really around my waist, and I had goggles and a snorkel and my camera. And so I wasn't planning on being in there for very long at all. So we're paddling and we're just trying to swim, and it's really hard because the waves are going, and it was like a legit like nightmare. I was so scared. It took me probably 45 minutes to swim to this boat, because we were swimming against the current. It was pushing us out, and we were going in, It was a mess. It was a mess. One girl had a panic attack and a breakdown when we got back in the boat, and everyone got sunburnt because we were out in the ocean for way too long. It was a hot mess, and I can't believe I almost forgot to include that, but wow, like I totally forgot about that for a little bit, but I tried to block it out, to be honest. I cannot believe that that actually happened to me. I was so tired after that. It was like a workout. Like, if you want to burn some calories, drop your booty in the middle of the ocean and try to swim to shore. Jesus. Honestly, you guys, I was the pickiest eater before I knew I was going to Puerto Rico. And I did not like avocado or peppers or mango or papaya or anything. And I found out I was going to Puerto Rico. And so I was like, okay, I need to try some new foods in case I have to eat stuff I don't really like. And I tried new foods and I fell in love. Oh my gosh, like I was missing out on so much. And Julia and I bought a huge avocado. Their avocados are like this big and they're green and they're delicious. They taste like water. Like they taste like they like melt in your mouth. They're so good. So we got this huge avocado at this open air market in Ponce. And then we went to a beach as like a whole group. And that was the first time we got like to hang out on a beach. It was really cool. The beach wasn't that great, but it was just nice to be there. And we cut open this avocado with a spoon, and then we were literally just sitting there eating the avocado with a spoon, and it was so good. And I did not like avocado before this trip. Like, I never tried it before. I was like, ooh, that's so gross, it's mushy and disgusting, but holy crap, it's so good. I'm telling you, it's delicious. If you have the opportunity to travel with school for a semester, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the full school year, do it. Either in high school or in college, like just do it. Do it, because you will have no experience like it ever again. It is amazing. It is so much fun. Even if you think you're a homebody and you like being with your family, leaving for even just a week is so cool. And then you get to go back to your family. And in case you're wondering, this trip solidified the fact that I want to speak Spanish for the rest of my life. There's nothing like being able to speak to someone else in their native language instead of having to have someone translate for you or just having to like mime it. There's nothing like being able to tell someone what you want in their language. It is insane. It's the coolest feeling. It doesn't have to be Spanish. It could be Japanese, German, French, Italian. It could be any language. Just learn it. If you want to learn it, if you like it, if you're interested in it, push through and work hard and get those A's and B's and go to college for it and get a minor or a major. If you learn anything from my channel, from any of my videos, do it. Do that. Travel and learn another language. Wow, I sound like Gina. She has told me this so many times. I can't even tell you. I hope you guys get the gist of how my trip was. I will add more pictures at the end and take another language if you haven't already. Okay? Because it's super cool and you will love it. And I love Spanish. And I might even change my major to teach Spanish because I love it so much. So just do it, okay? Don't make me cry because I will, okay? I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a big thumbs up and hit the notification bell down below if you want to see part 2 of my Puerto Rico story time, where I go to Puerto Rico with my family and a lot of stuff happens. And hit the subscribe button. 100 subscribers is our goal for this month. 100. We got 55 last month. 100 this month. Can we do it? Okay, I will catch you guys in my next video. Goodbye. Or adios, I should say, in Spanish. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Boop. Okay, bye.